Welcome to Myths and Mythologies, where we dive deep into the legendary tales that have shaped our world. Today, we embark on an epic journey as two of history's greatest heroes clash in a battle for the ages. Witness the ultimate showdown between Achilles, the invincible Greek warrior, and Captain America, the modern symbol of justice. In this thrilling video, we'll explore their fierce battles, unwavering resolve, and the epic struggle that determines the fate of the world. Buckle up and prepare for a legendary confrontation like no other. The world was in peril. An ancient, malevolent force, long buried beneath the Earth's surface, had been awakened. Its dark power seeped into the world, threatening to consume everything. Desperate to stop the destruction, the gods convened on Olympus, calling forth the greatest heroes from across time. Zeus, with his thunderous voice, addressed the assembly. "We face an enemy that no single hero can defeat. We must summon our mightiest warriors." From the mists of time emerged two figures. The first was Achilles, the legendary Greek warrior, whose name was synonymous with invincibility. His bronze armor gleamed, and his eyes burned with the ferocity of 1,000 battles. The second was Steve Rogers, known as Captain America, the embodiment of justice and honor in the modern world. Clad in his iconic star-spangled uniform, his vibranium shield was ready for battle. The two warriors, separated by millennia, stood face to face. Despite their differences, they were bound by a shared sense of duty and honor. They nodded to each other, an unspoken understanding passing between them. "Welcome, warriors," Zeus said. "You have been chosen to defend this world from a threat that could destroy all life. Together, you must close the portal that has unleashed these dark forces. But be warned, only the strongest among you will survive." Achilles and Captain America exchanged determined glances. They knew that their mission would test them to their limits, but they were ready to face whatever came their way. The dark force had already begun its assault. In the ancient city of Troy, the ground trembled as a portal to the underworld opened, spewing forth nightmarish creatures, gorgons, hydras, and spirits of the damned. The air was thick with the stench of death, and the sky was darkened by swirling clouds of malevolence. Achilles and Captain America led the charge against the invading horde, commanding a battalion of warriors from various eras. Achilles, with his legendary spear in hand, moved with the speed and grace of a seasoned warrior, cutting through the monstrous creatures with deadly precision. His strikes were swift and lethal, a testament to his unparalleled skill in combat. Captain America, a master tactician and soldier, fought with equal ferocity. His shield was a blur as he deflected blows and launched counterattacks, each strike carefully calculated to take down the enemy. His movements were fluid, a blend of strength and agility honed through countless battles. The two heroes fought side by side, their synergy flawless. They moved as one, their attacks complementing each other perfectly. Achilles' spear thrusts were followed by Captain America's shield bashes, creating a seamless flow of destruction that decimated the enemy ranks. But the darkness was relentless. For every creature they slew, another took its place. The battle seemed endless, and the weight of the task ahead loomed large in their minds. They knew that the only way to stop the tide was to confront the source of the darkness itself, the malevolent entity that had been unleashed from the underworld. As they approached the portal, a deep rumbling shook the ground. From the shadows emerged a colossal titan, corrupted by the darkness, its massive form towering over the battlefield. The Titan was a guardian of the underworld, its body a grotesque amalgamation of stone and sinew, its eyes burning with an unholy fire. Achilles and Captain America prepared for the fight of their lives. The Titan swung a massive, spiked club with devastating force, aiming to crush the two heroes beneath its weight. The ground quaked with each swing, and the air was filled with the sound of shattering stone. Achilles moved with the speed of a lightning bolt, his spear aimed at the Titan's heart. He leaped into the air, thrusting his weapon with all his might. But the Titan was faster than expected, and it brought its club down in a sweeping arc, forcing Achilles to dodge at the last moment. Captain America, ever the strategist, saw an opening. He threw his shield with precision, the vibranium disc spinning through the air and striking the Titan's knee. The impact caused the Titan to stumble, giving Achilles the chance he needed. With a mighty leap, Achilles drove his spear into the Titan's side, piercing its stone hide. The Titan roared in pain, swinging its free arm in a wild attempt to swat Achilles away. But the Greek hero was too quick, dodging the blow and landing another strike with his spear. Captain America retrieved his shield and joined the assault, hurling it with incredible force at the Titan's head. The shield struck true, dazing the Titan and causing it to stagger. Seizing the opportunity, Achilles delivered a final, powerful thrust, driving his spear deep into the Titan's heart. The Titan let out a final, earth-shaking roar before collapsing, its body dissolving into a pool of dark energy. Achilles and Captain America stood victorious, but they knew their battle was far from over. The portal continued to pulse with dark energy, a gateway to the heart of the darkness. The victory over the Titan was short-lived. As the two heroes stood before the portal, a figure emerged from the shadows, a hooded sorcerer, his face hidden beneath a cowl. His presence was unsettling, and the air around him shimmered with dark magic. "You seek to close the portal," the sorcerer said, his voice a low, hissing whisper. "But to do so, you must face the darkness within yourselves. Only the strongest will survive." Achilles and Captain America exchanged a wary glance. This was not the battle they had expected. The sorcerer's words carried a weight of inevitability, as if they had no choice but to fight each other. The ground beneath them shifted, and the air grew heavy with the stench of decay. They found themselves standing on opposite sides of a vast, dark chasm, the portal pulsing ominously behind them. "Prove your worth," the sorcerer intoned. "Face each other in combat, and the victor shall be granted the power to close the portal." Achilles' eyes flashed with anger. "This is madness. We are allies, not enemies." Captain America's expression was equally grim. "We don't have time for this. The world is at stake." The sorcerer merely laughed, a cold, mirthless sound. "You have no choice. The darkness will consume everything unless one of you emerges as the true champion." The air crackled with tension as Achilles and Captain America prepared for what they knew was an inevitable confrontation. They were both heroes, both determined to save the world. But now, they were forced to see each other as rivals. Without a word, they charged at each other. Achilles moved with blinding speed, his spear thrusting toward Captain America with the force of a thunderbolt. Captain America deflected the blow with his shield, the vibranium disc absorbing the impact. He countered with a powerful punch, but Achilles dodged with fluid grace, his combat instincts honed by years of warfare. The two warriors clashed repeatedly, their weapons striking with the force of gods. Achilles' spear was a blur as he attacked from every angle, each strike calculated to find a gap in Captain America's defense. But Captain America was no less formidable. His shield was an impenetrable barrier, blocking every attack and allowing him to launch devastating counterattacks. The battle was fierce, each hero pushing the other to the limits of their abilities. Achilles' speed and strength were unmatched, but Captain America's tactical brilliance and unyielding will kept him in the fight. Every strike, every block, every movement was a testament to their skill and determination. Achilles launched a flurry of attacks, his spear slicing through the air with deadly accuracy. Captain America deflected each strike with his shield, his movements fluid and controlled. But Achilles was relentless, and he pressed the attack, forcing Captain America to retreat. Captain America knew he had to change tactics. He waited for an opening, and when Achilles overextended with a powerful thrust, Captain America seized the opportunity. He sidestepped the attack and slammed his shield into Achilles' chest, the impact sending the Greek hero staggering back. Achilles recovered quickly, his eyes blazing with determination. He charged again, but this time Captain America was ready. He ducked under Achilles' spear and delivered a powerful uppercut, the force of the blow lifting Achilles off his feet. Achilles landed hard, but he was far from defeated. He rolled to his feet and hurled his spear at Captain America with all his might. The weapon flew like a bolt of lightning, but Captain America reacted with lightning speed, raising his shield just in time to deflect the deadly projectile. The spear ricocheted off the shield and embedded itself in the ground. Achilles lunged forward, drawing his sword in a swift motion, and swung at Captain America with a ferocity born of desperation. The two heroes clashed again, their weapons sparking as they struck. Captain America fought with everything he had, his shield moving with blinding speed to block Achilles' relentless attacks. But Achilles was a warrior of unparalleled skill, and his strikes were almost too fast to see. The battle was intense, both warriors giving no quarter. But as the fight dragged on, Captain America began to sense an opening. Achilles was fast, but his relentless aggression left him vulnerable to counterattacks. Captain America waited for the right moment, then delivered a powerful kick to Achilles' midsection, knocking him off balance. Achilles stumbled, and Captain America seized the opportunity. With a swift motion, he hurled his shield at Achilles, the vibranium disc spinning through the air with deadly precision. Achilles barely had time to react before the shield struck him in the chest, the force of the impact sending him crashing to the ground. For a moment, Achilles lay still, the wind knocked out of him. Captain America approached cautiously, his shield at the ready, prepared for a final strike if necessary. But Achilles did not rise. Instead, he remained on the ground, breathing heavily, his expression one of frustration and exhaustion. He had been defeated, not by a superior foe, but by an equal who had outmaneuvered him. Captain America extended a hand to Achilles, his expression resolute. "This fight is over, Achilles. We need to close that portal." Achilles looked up at Captain America, his eyes blazing with a mixture of anger and respect. Slowly, he took the offered hand and allowed himself to be pulled to his feet. He had been defeated, but he knew that the battle was far from over. The darkness had grown stronger, its tendrils reaching out from the portal to ensnare the world. The air was thick with a sense of impending doom as Achilles and Captain America prepared for the final confrontation. They knew that this battle would determine the fate of the world, and they were ready to face whatever came their way. But as they stood before the portal, the ground beneath them began to tremble. The darkness coalesced into a towering figure, a monstrous entity that radiated pure malevolence. It was the embodiment of the ancient evil that had been sealed away for eons, and it was more powerful than anything they had ever faced. The sorcerer watched from the shadows, a sinister smile playing on his lips. "Behold, the true face of darkness. Only one of you can defeat it. Choose wisely, or the world will be lost." Captain America and Achilles exchanged a grim look. They had fought together, they had fought each other, and now they would fight for the world. The dark entity roared, its voice shaking the very foundations of the earth. It lunged at the two heroes, its massive claws slashing through the air with terrifying speed. Achilles and Captain America dodged, barely avoiding the deadly strike. Achilles moved with the grace of a predator, his spear flashing as he struck at the entity's form. But the darkness was insubstantial, and his attacks passed through it without effect. Captain America hurled his shield with all his strength, but it too was absorbed by the darkness. The entity roared again, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. It lashed out with its tendrils, ensnaring Achilles and Captain America in a grip of cold, suffocating darkness. The heroes struggled, but the entity's power was overwhelming. As the darkness tightened around them, Achilles and Captain America felt their strength waning. The entity was feeding on their energy, draining them of their will to fight. The world around them began to fade, the darkness closing in on all sides. But Achilles was not one to give up easily. Summoning the last of his strength, he roared in defiance and drove his spear into the ground. The impact sent a shockwave through the battlefield, disrupting the entity's grip and freeing the two heroes. Captain America staggered to his feet, his breath ragged. "We need to find a way to defeat this thing," he said, his voice filled with determination. Achilles nodded, his eyes narrowing as he analyzed the entity's form. "It's made of darkness, but it must have a core, a heart. If we can find it, we can destroy it." The entity roared again, its form shifting and warping as it prepared for another attack. Achilles and Captain America knew they had to act quickly. Together, they charged at the entity, dodging its attacks with a combination of skill and instinct. Achilles' spear flashed as he struck at the darkness, searching for the core that would bring the entity down. Captain America fought with equal ferocity, his shield a blur as he deflected the entity's blows. But the darkness was relentless, and the entity's power seemed to grow with each passing moment. It lashed out with tendrils of shadow, striking at the heroes with deadly precision. Achilles and Captain America fought with everything they had, but the entity was too powerful. As the battle raged on, Captain America began to falter. His strength was nearly gone, his body pushed to its limits. The darkness was closing in, and he knew that he could not hold out much longer. Achilles saw this and knew that the time had come to make a choice. He had fought alongside Captain America, and he had fought against him. But now, in this final moment, he had to decide who would deliver the final blow. With a roar of determination, Achilles pushed forward, his spear aimed at the heart of the darkness. He knew that this was his moment, the culmination of all his battles, all his struggles. He was Achilles, the greatest of the Greek heroes, and he would not be denied. Captain America saw Achilles' intent and understood. He nodded, a silent acknowledgement of the Greek hero's resolve. "Do it," he said, his voice filled with respect. Achilles charged at the entity with all his might, his spear thrusting forward with the force of 1,000 battles. The entity roared in defiance, but it was too late. Achilles' spear struck true, piercing the heart of the darkness. The entity howled in agony as the darkness began to unravel. Its form disintegrated, the tendrils of shadow dissipating into the air. The portal began to collapse, the dark energy that had threatened to consume the world fading away. Achilles stood over the fallen entity, his chest heaving with exertion. He had done it. He had defeated the darkness. But as the last remnants of the entity vanished, he knew that the victory had come at a great cost. Captain America lay on the ground, his strength finally spent. Achilles knelt beside him, his expression one of profound respect. "You fought well, Steve Rogers," he said quietly. "The world owes you its gratitude." Captain America smiled weakly. "We both fought well, Achilles. The world is safe, thanks to both of us." As the darkness receded and the light returned to the world, Achilles helped Captain America to his feet. They had faced the greatest challenge of their lives and had emerged victorious, not as enemies, but as allies who had fought for the greater good. And though Achilles had won the final battle, both heroes knew that it was their combined strength, courage, and honor that had saved the world from destruction.